Yes, YouTube. Welcome to another episode of Garden of the Mind YouTube channel, where we reduce stress, improve our health and fitness, and increase our financial IQ just a little bit every episode. Today's episode, we're going to be talking about how to get out of debt. If you're having trouble with debt, you're in the right place. So let's get into it. Debt can be problematic depending on where you are in terms of its intensity. You can owe something as a few bucks, or you can owe thousands of dollars to the point where a company is calling you on a daily basis to the point where you don't want to pick up your phone. My older brother Charles used to say, never run from your responsibilities. In terms of debt, what I say is investigate and evaluate. When you're investigating your debt, you're looking for what the original delinquency date is. That is basically the birth of the debt. Most debt stays on your credit report for 7 years. After that 7 years, it has to come off. However, check your state for exceptions. Some of those exceptions could be bankruptcy, IRS debt, medical, or student loans. Those never come off your credit. Once you're aware of what the original delinquency date is, you may have to evaluate how best to proceed. Sometimes if you even acknowledge the fact that you have this debt, it may extend the debt for another 7 years. Once again, check the laws in your state. After you decide to pay your debts, there is a method called the Snowball method that can really help to accelerate the payment of your debt. The Snowball method basically looks at all of your debts and looks at the one that has the lowest dollar amount and looks at that to be the priority in terms of payment. While all of your other debts get minimal payments, that one gets the lion's share and gets taken down. So you get a chance to get a sense of accomplishment from chiseling down on that mountain of debt. The second method is called the Avalanche method. The Avalanche method takes into account all of the interest that's associated with one particular debt and looks to that to go after in terms of the priority in payment. Therefore, you pay the minimums on everything else, but you are paying the credit card that has the highest interest rate on it. The third one is called the Chaka method. The Chaka method basically takes into account the Avalanche method and the Snowball method with a little twist. Now, this is the method that I used when I was about $60,000 in debt. Now, during the time that I was in debt, I still managed to pay the minimums on all of my other cards, so I still maintained my stellar credit history. As a result, I was getting offers from credit cards which asked me to transfer balances. Now, what I did is I transferred balances from one credit card with a high interest rate to another credit card with a lower interest rate. I was very mindful to pay attention to the transfer fees and anything associated with that transfer. I also was careful to know that this was for a small temporary period, so I managed to put all of my resources on paying that particular card that I just did the balance transfer for. That method, you had to be very, very disciplined. These balance transfers had a particular time frame associated with them, so I was careful to know exactly when they were due, paying them off a month before because I didn't want no problems. Because if you don't pay them off, you get hit with sometimes all of the interest that you did not pay in the 2 or 3 years that the balance transfer covered. The fourth method is to use your retirement account. You may be able to take out a loan on your retirement, which the repayment is usually about between 5 to 8%. Whatever it is, it's usually far cheaper than the interest that you would pay on a credit card. Thereby, you have the opportunity to pay this off a lot quicker, and usually these retirement loans don't show up on your credit. Proverbs 22:7 says, "The rich rule over the poor, and the borrower is a slave to the lender." I want to make the distinction between having credit cards and debt, because I believe those are two different things. So if you have credit cards, you pay, and yes, you do owe a debt, but if you pay off your credit cards at the end of the month, you don't carry a balance So as far as I'm concerned, that's not considered a debt. If you are smart, careful, and intentional with your credit, you can leverage that for wealth. Now, there's a YouTuber by the name of Dave Ramsey. Now, Dave Ramsey did some phenomenal things. He was a millionaire. He went into debt. He got himself out of debt. Now he is spreading all of his financial wisdom with the world, which I think is excellent. However, Dave Ramsey believes that credit is evil. I don't know if I subscribe to that. You have to know yourself. You have to look deep within and find out exactly what type of person you are. Can you use credit effectively and wisely, or will you go into debt and then be mad that you're in debt? You have to know exactly who you are. What do you think? Do you think that credit is evil? Please put that in the comments. And remember, thoughts are actions, words have power, and actions have consequences. I will see you for Fit Fridays, where we will be making the best salad ever. See you then.